For this simulation, I will be speaking from the perspective of Black Power activists and leaders. As a bit of background, Black Power was a movement which emphasized racial pride, economic empowerment, and the creation of cultural institutions. Together, they aimed at achieving self-determination and reversing the notion that African Americans were incapable of creating their own change. Black Power is Black autonomy. The federal government needs to have greater representation of African Americans in positions of power who will have genuine interest in equalizing our position in this country. While we have had a presence in Congress and in the House for decades, our numbers remain limited. Legislators are far too few to effect change as a voting bloc within Congress, so their only options are to act as a public advocate, commanding the spotlight on behalf of racial equality, and to act as patient insiders who can deliver economic and political benefits to Black constituents by acquiring influence within the existing power structure. We need greater representation in federal government because we cannot align on our own issues with the whites. For years, whites have perpetuated our evil myth. As an example, in children's books, the good guys are little white boys, and the bad guys are presented as Black savages. This becomes a learned behavior, ingrained into the formidable minds of our nation's white youth. As they grow up, some whites feel guilty and, as progressives, do voice their support for our mission. It is important to advocate without taking ownership, though. So often they try to relate to our struggles. It's different, though. If white people want to help us, they should do so in their own communities and circles. Joining our groups creates a power struggle, and they can do just as much, if not more good, staying in their own territory. Progressive whites, no matter how good their intentions, must admit to being a part of collective white America. Their white fear, guilt complex is more than we care to address, and they frankly are uncomfortable with confrontation. We propose the SNCC be 100% Black staffed, financed, and controlled because previous solutions to Black problems have been made in the interests of whites who handle them, not the best interests of those who are actually impacted. The past decade, we have progressed, but we are nowhere near where we want to be. As more of us enter the federal government, our voices will become prioritized.